Hey, excited you're here with us on our YouTube channel. Just a couple quick announcements. First off, middle school students, we have Fall Blast on October 24th through the 25th, and that registration and form are due this coming week, so make sure you turn those in, and if you don't have that, talk to me. We can figure something out. It costs $60 and it's going to be awesome. For those of you who have been stuck in quarantine, hopefully this is your last Wednesday that you're stuck there. So I hope you enjoy what we do. So second week in our What to Do When You Don't Know What to Do.
So when you don't know how to do something, how to fix something, or how something works, what do? Ask a teacher? Ask your parents? Ask your friends? Ask someone you really know and trust? No, you go to the internet and ask some randos. But I'm not talking about creeps here, I hope. No, I mean the people of the internet! You know, those people who make how-to videos. Because chances are, if you're trying to figure out something, someone on the internet has already figured it out for you. Things like, how do I unsend a text? No. How do I do a winged eyeliner? How do I get rid of the zit by Friday night? How do I get out of gym class? How do I screen cap Snapchat without getting caught? You'll never know. But then there are things in life that don't have an easy fix, that don't have a simple solution, that don't have a how-to video. Things like what to do when you have problems with family, or when it seems like you have no control in your life, or what to do when someone has done something to you. I mean, clearly, they gotta go. The truth is, there's a lot of life that doesn't have a solution you can just find online. So how do you know what to do when you don't know what to do?
So we all use texting. It's a great way to communicate with other people. And how many of you overuse emojis when you text? I get it. We have that one friend that feels like the text is incomplete if there's not an emoji being used. Or maybe they've moved up to the GIFs or GIFs, however you want to say it doesn't matter. And you have 2-second clips of Beyonce saying something instead of just using your own words. When it comes to text, sometimes too much is too much, so emojis speak thousands of words. So here's what I mean. We all love to use emojis, like the laughing face. When something's funny, when someone said something that made you laugh, you give the laughing face emoji. Or some of us even use the weird cat laughing face emoji. That's fine, whatever, you can use it. Or maybe use the green face when something was gross that happened at school. Maybe that lunch was gross, you text your friend it was nasty. Or maybe the sad face, something happened that was really hard and it made you cry. And there's like the one tear or like the rivers of tears. It depends, it doesn't matter. But we all use emojis. And that's the beauty of emojis. They help us talk about how we feel without using actual words. And there's a few emojis that we don't use often, but we use every once in a while. Like the emoji with just an open mouth, shocked. Or the emoji that doesn't even have a face. Not exactly sure what that one means. Or the face with an open mouth and raised eyebrows. We've all had those situations where we're like, I have no words for this. We're shocked, and I like the first one the best. The face without a mouth, because it represents those moments when you simply don't have any words to say about what's going on. Or something happens, and we don't have any words to say. We can't make sense of it. And I venture to say that most of the time, these shock emojis are sent along with a text that reports something happened, and it's always something that's bad that happened. Something that catches us off guard and we were not prepared for it, and it came out of nowhere. That is what we're talking about today, and you've experienced this in your life, right? Those moments when you've just been shocked and something simply rocked your world and caught you off guard. And maybe you just feel like uncertain or caused you a lot of other fear or hurt. Maybe you felt this way when you heard that your parents were getting a divorce or splitting up. Or maybe your stepmom got pregnant and you're getting a brother or sister that you were not prepared for. Maybe a friend had something mean to say about you and they didn't say it to your face, and then afterwards they did say it to your face. Maybe you felt this way when your mom or your dad or someone in your family had a job change and it messed up with your finances of your family and it caused you a lot of stress. Maybe you just got dumped. Or maybe you went on a breakup with somebody and they said they were relieved that you broke up with them. Maybe you got a rejection letter from the college you desperately wanted to go to, or you were dreaming of going to. Unfortunately, the list could go on of all the things that happen in our life that cause us to have sadness and hurt, and that can scare us and devastate us and to simply just rock our world. And if you haven't experienced it yet, just wait. There will be a time in your life when that happens. The thing about these shockingly painful moments is that they often hit us out of nowhere. We weren't prepared for them. We didn't prepare ourselves for the news that was coming. And because of that, it's difficult for us to know how they'll make us feel. And because of that, it's difficult for us to know how we'll respond. So sometimes we surprise ourselves by how well we handle it. We think, wow, I figured news like that would really mess my life up, but I'm actually doing okay. Some of the times we surprise ourselves by how much it tears us apart. We think, I didn't think this was going to be that hard, but I am not okay. I'm a bit of a mess. Or sometimes we feel closer to God when stuff rocks us, but other times we wonder where God is at all. That's because we're all wired differently and we experience those hurt differently. But that doesn't change the fact that hurt hurts. And when life hurts, we all find ourselves wondering what to do next. And that's what we're doing in this series, what to do when you don't know what to do, because we all encounter those words, no word emoji moments. And so did Joseph. Remember last week we talked about Joseph and we began this series, and the story continues this week, and it's going to be a no mouth emoji face for this. And Joseph, he's one of the most famous people in the book of Genesis in the Old Testament. And Joseph had some serious family drama. Drama that he definitely had some part in creating, but he had some serious drama. He was his dad's favorite child and therefore given a lot of special treatment compared to his other brothers. Did I mention he has 11 other brothers? On top of that, he had a dream of his brothers and his parents, of all of them bowing down to him, and he didn't pick up on the social cues, and he told his family about that. And you can imagine how that went over. His brothers were not too happy about it. His brothers were not okay with him being dad's favorite. His brothers were not okay with him sharing his dreams of him ruling over them someday. So how did they respond? Well, let's check this out in the book of Genesis. Genesis 37:18. But they saw him in the distance. They saw Joseph in the distance. And before he reached them, they plotted to kill him. So that went from 0 to 100 pretty quickly. And it continues. Here comes that dreamer, they said to each other. Come now, let's kill him and throw him into one of these cisterns and say that a ferocious animal devoured him. They'll see what comes, then we'll see what comes out of his dreams. So despite the anger towards Joseph, one of his brothers actually had a conscience in this moment of like, we maybe shouldn't just kill this guy. So Reuben, one of Joseph's brothers, when Reuben heard of this, he tried to rescue him from their hands. Let's not take his life, he said. Don't shed any blood. Throw him into the cistern here in the wilderness, but don't lay a hand on him. Reuben said this to rescue him from them and take him back to his father. So thank goodness for Reuben. Thank you, Reuben, for saving Joseph's life, because he convinced his brothers to just throw Joseph into a cistern instead of killing him. And he planned on coming back to rescue Joseph at some point. So, not a great situation anyway, but at least he's not dead. The brothers listened to Reuben, and when Joseph approached, they ripped off the special coat that his father had given him, and they threw him into a well. So if Joseph had a phone in this moment, and he was texting someone, he says, when your brothers tear up your jacket and throw you into a well, insert shocked emoji face. But they're still not done with him. So they noticed So now Joseph's in the well, and they notice a caravan of traders coming towards them. And Judah, another one of Joseph's brothers, suggests, hey, we should sell Joseph into slavery to these people. After all, selling Joseph to a group of people for slavery instead of killing him, I guess that's better, right? So that's exactly what they do. And they dip Joseph's coat in blood of a wild animal, and they take it to their father. And they tell him that Joseph was likely attacked by an animal and killed. So what a cover story. But then in Genesis 37:32, they took the ornate robe back to their father and said, we found this. Examine it to see whether it is your son's robe. And that last line tells a lot and everything we need to know about the situation. The brothers obviously knew that the coat belonged to Joseph. They brought it brought it up to their dad, and they noticed the way he favored Joseph. They noticed how the father of Joseph, favored Joseph over all the other brothers, and they were mad about it, rightfully so. And they didn't call it Joseph's robe or even our brother's robe. They said your son's robe. They were very jealous. So insert text number 2. Good news, out of the well. Bad news, they sold me. Like they literally sold me. And I'm being lighthearted, but there was nothing lighthearted about the situation. We simply cannot imagine the fear, despair, uncertainty, anger, and hurt that Joseph must have felt. Betrayed by his own brothers, sold into slavery, like real slavery, by the brothers he grew up with. So the message was loud and clear. We're all better off without you, Joseph. So what do you even do? How do you get yourself unsold? And this was clearly a what to do when you don't know what to do moment. And our stories are probably different than Joseph's, but we're all going to experience pain of some kind. We'll all have scary, painful, or dangerous moments that catch us off guard. And we'll have moments when life doesn't make sense and we don't have the words to process what's happening. And unfortunately for Joseph, he had more shocking moments coming for him in his life. Like a lot. And we'll talk about those later in the next few weeks. But I want to highlight 5 powerful words that show up in this historical account. 5 powerful words that meant so much to Joseph. These 5 words literally made all the difference and helped Joseph maybe more than anything else, and it's in Genesis 39, verse 2. The Lord was with Joseph. Joseph did not have a lot going for him at this point. His family hates him basically, except for his dad. He's into slavery now, and they tried to kill him. But when Joseph was in despair and wondering how life would turn out, he could rely on the one single truth. God was with him. Now this truth, it didn't change the reality of Joseph's situation, but it was better than being alone. This truth didn't mean that Joseph could see where the story was going. He couldn't see what the future held for him, but he could know that he wasn't entirely on himself, dependent on himself to get out of the situation. And this truth didn't mean that Joseph could easily deal with the things that was happening in his life. It didn't mean that he had a reason or explanation of the pain in his life, but he didn't have to figure it out by himself. And the same is true for you. When there's nothing you can do, God is with you. When life hands you shocking news and you don't know what to do, God is with you. Truthfully, we hear that all the time, and it's lost the amazing, powerful effect it should have on us. We lose those words and they lost their meaning. We don't feel them. We don't think about it for a second, but really, think through this. God is with you. Not in some abstract way, but he is literally present near you, next to you when you feel alone. And when you and I can truly understand that, when we embrace in it and sit in it, that truth changes us. Our circumstances, they may not change. After all, Joseph wasn't immediately returned to his family, and he had a lot of other junk coming towards his way. But it changes our perspective on our situation. And maybe, more than anything, it gives us hope that we can keep going even when it feels like we can't. Knowing that God is with us may not change our circumstances, but it might just change us. It might just give us enough hope to keep on going, even in the hopelessness of our circumstances. And it's easy to give into the hurt that we have experienced, and it's easy to let the fear overwhelm us or the anger consume us. We have a lot of reasons to let difficult and sometimes really unfair situations get the last word. But when we know that God is with us, the uncertainty of life doesn't get the last word, God does. So what does that look like? There are no formulas or easy answers for us to just get through hard times, but here are some things to do in the meantime. Number one, be real. You can feel your feelings. Not everyone will experience incredible luck in life, but everyone will go through tough times and pain. And all throughout the Bible, we read about men and women going through horrible, unfair circumstances, and they shared their feelings, even the ones that they didn't want to share, with God. They were completely real and honest with the Lord. And we're able to do that as well. There are no cliches to make hard times go away. And our job isn't to just suck it up and move on and act like everything's okay. If we truly believe that God is with us, then we should know that God is more than okay with us sharing our doubts, our questions, and our fears with Him, and even our frustration and anger with Him. And number two, remind yourself and each other that God is with you. So here's a spoiler alert in the life of Joseph. Things did eventually work out for him. But we know that because we can read the whole story. In our life, we can't read our whole story until it all unfolds. There are no spoiler alerts in life. All he could do is faith another day, wondering how things would turn out. But he held on to one thing, that God was with him. So in moments when life is the toughest, that's when we need to remember how important it is to rest that God is with you and that your story isn't over yet. Our life will be full of moments when we don't know what to do. When we don't know what to do with our pain, our struggles, our hurt. And as you head out into the rest of your life, I want you to know why you need to rest and God is with you, but also know that we are with you too. The leaders, the friends that you have at youth or in other places are with you. So when you don't know what to do, God is with you.